Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting for June the 3rd, 2013. Remind everybody that this meeting is being audio taped and videotaped. First on the agenda is to call the meeting to order. In Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Murray, will you lead us in the pledge?
Mr. Chairman. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. And now we have a moment of silence for a library employee passed away, Bradford Pyle. With that, Pam, would you like to?
It was with sadness that the Raleigh Public Library family learned of the passing of Bradford Pyle last Tuesday. Brad was a library page for the past 7 years. He was also our friend, and we will miss him dearly. Every Thursday evening, Brad showed up to work practically skipping, jumping right in with his creative ideas, enthusiasm, and joy. He will be missed for those things, as well as for the thoughtfulness and friendship he brought with him each week. Brad had a challenging day job, helping to educate troubled young people, and yet at his night job, he contributed exceptional customer service without fail. In 7 years, I do not remember him ever being cross or crabby. It was hard to be near Brad without feeling a little bit better about the world. He had an upbeat, positive attitude and was always looking for ways to make things brighter for others. He loved helping people in the library, especially children, and particularly those who shared his interest in comic books, science fiction, fantasy, or gaming. Those folks found a friend and mentor in Brad. It is difficult to accept the loss of someone as young and vibrant as Brad Pyle. The thoughts and prayers of everyone at the Raleigh Public Library go out to his family at this difficult time.
Pam was so sorry for the loss of Brad. I know it's a deep loss to everyone at the library. So sorry. Michelle?
I just wanted to thank you for acknowledging him and remembering him tonight. I think it means a lot to everyone at the library and I'm sure to his family.
So sad.
Nope, sorry, missed.
Anybody else?
Mary?
Joe? Lisa? Again, we're so sorry. I know it's going to be a gap at the library. So disappointed. No. I can say
Thank you.
thank you for coming in tonight. Yeah. Michelle. I have no comments tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Bob.
would it be possible for the Vice Chairman to have comments tonight?
Yes, this is possible. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I keep it short?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we, as the Board of Selectmen, know that you are the president of the Ipswich Rotary Club,
Yes, I
and
am.
that there's a special date coming up here within a couple of 3 weeks, as you've been the president for the past year, and that's how the Rotary works. You put in the president, and it's only good for 12 months, and they create a new chief executive officer. As a former Rotary member, I understand the responsibilities of the president. Although I was not a president myself, I was the treasurer of the club that I was in. And it's a lot of work. And I know you've done some very good things for the town of Raleigh, particularly with the pantry through the Rotary Club in Ipswich. So we'd like to, as the board, give you a little token of our appreciation for the work that you've done for us in the town of Raleigh, and also the Rotary Club of Ipswich. So,
I like gifts. Especially when they're wrapped up. I can't open it up. The American flags, I know the two, but
Have a marine sticker on it?
I didn't have
Oh, white spoiler.
oh, how neat. This is the Ipswich Rotary Club, and is dated November the 14th, 1923. And my picture's here.
Back when he was a kid.
Yeah, there we are, yeah. I was 4 years old.
He was old back then.
Oh, wow, look at that.
He's got all names.
That's all, yeah. And this
That's
year,
very,
this
very
year
good.
marks the 90th year of Ipswich Rotary. And Ipswich Rotary also, Raleigh is part of the Ipswich Rotary Club. So, wow, Bob, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Paul.
Thank you. That's something. Next Rotary meeting, I can't wait to bring it in, show them.
There many Raleigh people in that club.
Yeah, there's
think
about, matter of fact, 1/3 of the membership of the Rotary. I think it's 1/3. 1/3 come from Raleigh.
Today, I'm not sure, there's a couple of them in there that are familiar names.
Oh, really?
Birth and things like that.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really something. Well, thank you very much. That's, put that up on my I Love Me room at home.
Well, this should free you up for more work here then. Like that.
Dave is always thinking. He's always one step ahead. Well, again, Bob, thank you so much,
Oh,
and
you're
everybody on the
welcome.
board.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's a neat picture.
Congratulations.
Thank you for all you do
Yes,
for the
thank you
town.
very much.
Well, thank you. Like, can you home in on that? I'll hold it real still. That's great. That's 1923. That's a hoot, seeing that.
Very nice.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks, Nat. That's good. So a lot of the Ipswich people tune in to watch our meetings. I get comments when I'm over in Ipswich, so.
You're a hero over there, local
Yeah, my-
hero.
As long as you don't get fines, we're all set.
Well, if they find my picture in there, I'll be fined $5, I know that. All right. Well, Bob, thank you again.
Oh, you're
that was-
welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Leave it to you to find a picture of the Ipswich Rotary. You got a picture of everything, you know that?
Well, not quite everything, but I do have quite a few.
Okay. Between 7:05 and 7:15 will be citizens' query. And is there anybody have anything to say in the audience tonight? Okay. So it's about 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes after the hour. So we have another 5 minutes of citizen query. We have an appointment at 7:15 with the Animal Control Officer, Reed Wilson. And Richard Curran is to come in at 7:45. At 8 o'clock, Police Chief Barker to discuss donations to the police department. Okay, with that, we have a couple minutes left. And why don't we get into some general business? And first thing on general business, we'll do number 1, Chapter 44, Section 33B, transfers. And we have election department expenses to election department wages, transfer $1,750 from line 38. Election expenses to line 37, election wages. And 2, police department wages to police department expenses. Transfer $3,000 from line 56, police department, to wages, line 57, police department expenses. With that, do I have a motion from the board?
I'll give you a motion.
I have a
Second.
motion, and I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is one of those things we all have to sign. There we go. Just a note, the oldest member of Rotary in Ipswich is Ben Collins, used to own the Ford dealership. I don't know if you know Ben, but Ben became a Rotarian the year I was born. And he's a very nice gentleman. So very lucky to have him in Rotary, Ben. If you're listening, Ben. Okay. Okay, FY14 reappointments. And Mr. Perry has requested that we we hold off on the 375th committee appointments for 2 weeks. Correct, Joe?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll do all the appointments except for, now, are there going to be any problems when we go down with conflicts on
Only
any
with
of
me
these?
at the very bottom of the first page.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, let's start up the top. Robert Carpenter, Open Space Committee, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Charles Costello, Board of Health, to 6/30/2016.
Make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Police Department, this will be Robert Barker, Chief of Police, to 6/30/2016. Dave Sedgwick, Sergeant, 6/30/2016. John Raffey, Patrolman, 6/30/2016. Matthew Zev, Patrolman, 6/30/2016. Matthew Doucette, Reserve Patrolman, 6/30/2016. Robert Adams, Reserve Patrolman, 6/30/2016. Robert Barker, Keeper of Raleigh Police Station Lockup Facility as required by Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 35, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Timothy Toomey, Hazardous Material Coordinator, 1-year term, 6/30/2014. William
that
Dement, okay, do I have a motion? I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
William Demento, Harbor Master, 6/30/2014. Fred Hardy, Assistant Harbor Master, 6/30/2014. Dave S. Kent, Assistant Harbor Master, 6/30/2014. Frank Price, Assistant Harbor Master, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, William Demento, Sandy Point Committee Member, 6/30/2014. John Manning, Sandy Point Committee Member, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, going on to the oil spill response team. Robert Barker, Police Chief, 6/30/2014. James C. Broderick, Fire Chief, 6/30/2014. Ron Keefe, Highway Department, 6/30/2014. William Demento, Harbor Master, 6/30/2014. Brent Bisley, 6/30/2014. Frank Panjani, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Conservation Commission, Samuel Sharif, 6/30/2016. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Reed Wilson, Animal Control Officer, Animal Inspector, 6/30/2014. Carol Marquette, Alternate Inspector, Alternate Animal Control Officer, Animal Inspector, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Richard Parham, Fence Viewer, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I have a
Second.
motion. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I just add that Dick is always looking for an additional member of the fence viewer, so if anyone's interested at
Okay.
home that would like to be a fence viewer, it's an exciting position to be part of.
Okay. Fence viewer's job is open there, so. Okay, Robert G. Murray, Cannoneer, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Unanimous abstention. Bob, don't tell anybody where the old Nancy is.
No, I'll never find it.
Okay.
So we ever gonna have a shoot again?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Frank Mangiani, Limited Lighting Bylaw Enforcement Agent, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Gary Brackett, Brackett and Lucas, Town Council, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we will go to the Town Common Restoration Committee. Frank Todd, Raleigh Historic District Commission, 6/30/2014. Dan Sispansky, Great Marsh Garden Club, 6/30/2014. Sheila Clark, Great Marsh Garden Club, 6/30/2014. Dave Jackwit, Planning Board, 6/30/2014. Ron Keefe, Highway Department, 6/30/2014. Sarah Bork, Raleigh Historic District Commission, 6/30/2014. Cliff Pierce, Planning Board, 6/30/2014. Sharon Emery, Resident, 6/30/2014. Roy Ricker, Water Department, 6/30/2014. Mark Anderson, Light Department, 6/30/2014. Again, those are for the Town Common Restoration Committee. Do I have a motion?
Make that
I
motion.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Alternate Building Inspector, Sam Jocelyn, alternate, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Alternate Wiring Inspector, Frederick Gallagher, alternate, 6/30/2014. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we will hold off on the 375th, 2 weeks till tonight. All right, Joe?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, it is now 7:18 after the hour, and we have an appointment at 7:15 with Animal Control Officer Reed Wilson. Reed, you want to come up and take a seat, please? Discuss a barking dog complaint.
Mr. Chairman, let me just check my email. Steve Andrews is supposed to be here.
Oh,
This is not here yet.
okay.
Well, if he's not,
Well, hold on, Reed, we'll just see if there's a message.
okay, what I was gonna say was if he's not, I just got a call from another town about a dog issue too, so.
Okay.
So I had to tell the person to wait until I get through with you gentlemen.
You're gonna be brief.
He's gonna be here at 7:30, okay?
Excuse me?
7:30.
7:30. Reed, can you hang around till that
Well, I
time?
got a dog that needed to be picked up in Boxford, so that's why I was, hoping you'd be here, all right?
Okay. Is that?
This might be him.
Aye. Mr. Andrews?
Yes,
Yes, come on right up here. We just.
Perfect.
it's till 7:30, is that correct?
Yeah, well, no, that's okay. We had booked you early because we had another appointment, but it's not your fault.
Yeah, sit
Okay.
right there, Mr. Andrews.
Sure.
That's fine, okay? And you know Reed.
Yeah, I
Doesn't-
can,
Animal control.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, again, we have a 7:15 appointment, Steve Andrews and Animal Control Officer Reed Wilson to discuss barking dog nuisance complaint. Board of Selectmen has received a letter from Mr. Andrews, see attached regarding annoyance of barking by a neighbor's dog at 89 Newbury Road. Okay, stated May 18, 2013. I am writing today in regards to the Town of Raleigh's general bylaws as it applies to dogs barking. I'm a resident of Newbury Road in Raleigh, and since approximately August 2012, I've submitted multiple complaints regarding annoyance barking and nuisance barking from property located at 89 Newbury Road, which is located next to my property. A dog is located at that property which barks frequently, primarily at vehicles which drive by. I was informed by Reed Wilson, the town's animal control officer, that the breed of dog is a Shetland sheepdog Sheltie. The dog barks loudly and in his piercing manner at roughly 4 out of 5 cars that drive by. It is able to run freely and unimpeded within the very large chain-link fence in the backyard, where it has clear view of all traffic and any other things that might be occurring around the property. I observed the dog barking and described on most days beginning around 10 a.m. when I suspect its owner lets it outside. It's often then left to run freely until after dark. Weekdays are especially problematic, as there is a higher volume of car traffic on Newbury Road compared to work week. But the problem also occurs during the work week as well. To the owner's credit, they do appear to bring the dog inside their home when they leave the premises, but the fact is that the dog is still left outside for hours at a time. My initial complaint was placed in person at the Raleigh Police Department in approximately August 2012. A police officer visited the property in question within an hour of my complaint and issued subsequently ceased for upwards of 6 weeks or so, only to begin again. While I do not have an in-depth timetable after August 2012, I can state that I contacted Raleigh Police again via phone on 2 occasions to lodge further complaints when the issue continued. It's my understanding that Reed Wilson was being contacted during this time frame. When the issue continued into December 2012, I was informed by Chief Barker that I would escalate the problem to Deb Egan. Deb was extremely helpful and contacted me via phone, at which point she and I had somewhat lengthy discussion. I also received a call from Reed Wilson this time to discuss the issue. I was told on 10/15/2012 by Chief Barker that Reed Wilson would issue a citation to the owners. So far I have not received confirmation that this actually happened. What I do know is that as of today, 5/18/2013, I am in no better position than I was in August. The problem continues exactly as it had when it begun. I have read a few sources that highlight that the breed of dog at the property has a high-pitched and ear-piercing bark that is essential to train your Sheltie to obey commands to quiet down, and that they are vocal dogs who are very alert to outside stimuli. In short, they were bred to be alert, be a watchdog, herder, and make noise. A quick search on the internet will bring up some reliable websites documenting this. It quite accurately reflects what I am hearing all too often. I am asking that the action be taken to please work with the owners of this dog to respect the Raleigh bylaws pertaining to dogs barking. It is unpleasant to be at the mercy of how many cars drive by and how much outdoor stimuli is going on, which keeps this dog wound up, so to speak, and barking continually. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Steve Andrews. Excuse me, I didn't touch my...
Not a problem. It's a long letter. I understand.
Okay. Mr. Andrews, can you add anything to your letter?
I just want to thank you all for having me here today, and thank you, Reed, for staying in contact with me. Just want to add that literally all the neighbors around my house have dogs, and I don't want to be a complainer. I don't want to be problematic. That's probably why this has gone on as long as it really has, and I've had zero problems with any of the other neighbors. You know, for what it's worth, I printed out things that I found documenting what this breed of dog is like. You know, if you do look this up, there's a common thread throughout everything, highlighting basically what I've said, that they tend to bark excessively. They shouldn't be left alone, especially to run freely without being disciplined. You know, I know the owners have been contacted. The last thing I want is conflict with my neighbors. For whatever reason, it did get quiet the first time that the police officer went there, as I said, for about 6 weeks.
And I spoke to him myself.
Yeah.
What I'd like the gentleman to do, I'll give him my number, my cell number to call. Because every time I go there, I know dogs inside.
So here's the issue: is that I wish this could be an issue where you pull up and it's like a junkyard dog sitting there barking out of its mind. It's not that black and white. The issue, based on what I've researched on the dog and what I've read, is since it's so alert to all this stimuli, it literally will try to hurt cars, cattle. That's what it's been bred to do. And it's
anything that moves, the herding dog will go after.
Oh yeah,
it's really going crazy with cars. And I'm an animal lover, number one. The neighbor probably won't believe me when I say
they
that.
love to herd children.
It literally, as the traffic ramps up, the dog barking ramps up, and I'm home a lot of my weekends. I just purchased the house last year, so I'm doing work. My windows are open a lot of the days, and it grates on you. It's one thing, when I hear it some weeknights for a few hours. I get home about 5:30. It'll be out there till dusk. If there's no cars, it's not a problem. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But when there's cars going by, and Saturdays especially, they start picking up late morning. The Saturday before Memorial Day was the worst I've heard it. It was just constant, and it's an issue, again, where it just grates on you over time. It's not something that I'm just calling it as soon as I hear the thing. I was going weeks and months at a time before I contacted anybody, because I don't want to bother anybody about this.
I have a border collie. I know what you mean.
Okay.
So it's a herding dog.
Yeah.
And you have to spend a lot of time with it. You have to, if they partner with one person, and
that's what I
has.
read and observing, because I have when the foliage was down last fall, and I can still see a little bit back there, not that I'm nosing around, but it's left completely unattended. They have a huge backyard, so to a degree I understand why they want to leave it out there. They have a dog, they have a large backyard, it's completely fenced in. I would probably be in the same mindset if I were a dog owner, but this particular breed in that instance is kind of a bad equation for me and possibly the other neighbors.
They want to tell you anybody comes into the neighborhood. That's that's why they're so alert.
Right.
That's why they're great for herding and taking care of sheep.
And the type of bark it has, it just right through you. And my concern, I don't want to have to keep contacting Reed. I don't want to be a repeat caller, repeat complainer. I think whatever solution is put in place, hopefully put in place, it needs to be permanent. And that's up to the owner and you folks, and I suppose the vet if they want to go to their veterinarian. But whatever the solution is, I think it has to be permanent, because I can't keep doing this tit for tat, cat and mouse game where they quiet it down for a month so that I cool off and then it starts again.
Reed, have you talked to the owner?
I have not recently, but I have spoken to the owner. Let him know there was an issue with the dog barking. And it seemed that it might have quieted it down for a while. But I would like to. I'm going to give him my cell number.
Okay.
So when he hears it barking, if I'm right close by, I'll be right there, and jump all over him.
Any comments from the board?
No, can't this dog be penned up? What I'm hearing, it's running out on the road wild.
It's not on the road, it's fenced in, but I mean...
It is fenced in.
It's a chain link fence, I can see clear as day.
Yeah. So in other words, what I'm understanding, you said it was chasing, making noise at cars or what? Because I go up that road quite a bit, and I have never heard or seen anything, any animals, dogs up that. What's their name?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been living
Who's the
there
neighbor
for
then?
years.
89, that's where Bob Moss used to live. Bob had the big barn there,
Yeah.
right across. Yeah, you know where it is.
It charges
I've
back
never
and
seen
forth.
just before you turn into the left.
There is a fence. I live on Newbury Road. There is
Yeah.
a fenced-in area up there, and I can see where it's probably 50 feet that actually is visible to the.
And it darts back and forth.
You can
And like
see
I
the
said,
road.
it's
I've
not
never
every
seen the
car.
dog, but
Yeah.
But as the more cars get ran by, it's more wound up through the day. There's nobody attending to it, and finding.
Maybe I'll have a talk. Maybe you can come up with some type of solution to.
Reed, what is the actually, off the top of your head on, I know this, we kind of ban excessive barking, but without having looked at the bylaw
I have it here, and that's my point. Is that to me this is clear as day. It falls under the the bylaw talks about.
You got it highlighted there? Could you-
Yeah, nuisance.
A quick reading?
Yeah, sure. Section 3, animal control officer is authorized to require owners or keepers of dogs to restrain their dogs from running at large and from causing excessive causing annoyance or nuisance by way of barking, whining, howling in an excessive, continuous, or untimely fashion. And from my perspective, having lived in this for 10 months now or so, it's clearly falls into the annoyance and nuisance section.
Is there something we can give the owner, if you the next time you get a call?
I can give
Go up
him
and
a
give him a citation.
I can give him a copy.
He may have to testify, because you may
Right.
not even, you may not hear the dog, but I
Right.
think it's a matter
Right.
of, if he's willing to testify.
Well, I'll give him a copy. I'll give him a copy of the bylaw,
Absolutely.
and I have to look at that property again. I might have an idea if they can come up with some type of screening on the fence where the dog doesn't see anybody running by.
That may help
That
at this
might-
point.
that might help,
I think
you know.
it's conditioned to the point where it's hearing it. It knows
Yeah.
it's a very intelligent dog.
Oh yeah, they're very smart.
I can tell you right now, I'll be calling you on Saturday.
They usually train the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could issue a
All right.
citation, I think that would at least officially
Yeah.
get the ball rolling
Yeah.
on record. And
Yeah.
if it persists,
Yeah.
at some point, I don't know whether there's a fine,
Oh, yeah.
involved. and
Yeah. Just
I
like
think that's the only option we have.
Just
at
like
this point.
just like the leash law and everything. So.
My feeling, I don't know how much, influence you can have over it. I think whatever is put in place needs to be sort of permanent. I don't know if that means a bark collar, whatever it is. As unfortunate as that is, I'm not a fan of that at all. But the dog's clearly not trained or being reprimanded at all when it's doing this. I don't think that they feel it's a problem. At some point, they found that it was me who complained. That's water under the bridge, and
I never mention names.
maybe he's took a good guess, but I can't say it on public television. But he hurled a few expletives across the yard at me at the end of April.
Well, I think sounds like we're down to a citation. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what else the board could do.
I'll get over there.
Start issuing citations.
Yeah, I'll get over there and have a talk with him, and let him know what's going on. And next time he calls me, I'll write out a
If
citation.
you need to, contact the chief of police and have a
Right.
patrolman come by and be with you so that you have a witness.
All right.
Someone with you so you're not there by yourself.
Right.
It would be
Can I
wise.
ask what their stance on it is? Are they just saying it's not an issue?
And they just said, well, last time I spoke to them, they said they don't leave the dog out all day. And I have been driving by the neighborhood. I've been a couple of places that I've been keeping an eye on, and that was on my list. And I never hear anything. So
Again, it's one of those things
Yeah.
where if you're living next to it when it's busy,
Yeah.
you can go there Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Might be quiet for half an hour over there because there's no cars driving by, but
it's
it ramps up.
like having you're squeaking in your
Good,
vehicle.
yeah.
You bring it to the mechanic and it
Sure.
stops squeaking.
Sure, that's why I've been as patient as I can
Yeah.
because I understand the nature of it and
Yeah.
I appreciate whatever you can do.
Mr. Andrews, you have Reed's cell phone.
I'll
right?
give
do,
it.
yeah.
So
Okay.
anything pops up, just
Yeah,
give
give
me
me
a
a
call
call.
and read. You do some patrols in the neighborhood.
Well, I've been driving around.
Okay.
So you're going to be speaking to them?
If I don't get over it, I'll try to get over there tomorrow.
Okay, I just didn't know if you want to speak to them before I had to call you or if you were waiting for a call
No,
from you.
no, I'll still make a pass with him. Let him know there's been some complaints, and the next time I'm gonna whip out the book.
Okay. As I said, all my other neighbors, I've observed them with their dogs, and everybody's very respectful. And for whatever reason,
We have an officer go with you, okay?
All right, well,
Reed, I would recommend bring a copy of the
Yeah.
bylaw with
Yeah, I
you,
will.
what the fines are, and say that, if I
Yeah.
get more calls,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start issuing
Yeah.
citations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only really power we have.
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
All right, Reed, thanks for coming in,
All right.
Mr. Andrews.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay.
Should I stick around, or are we pretty much done?
Yeah, we're done.
Good, done.
Okay, great. Thanks for how this works. Just
You can watch the
thank
hockey
you.
game.
Thanks very much. Oh yeah, thanks very much, everybody.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark.
All right. Good night now.
Go Pittsburgh.
Get out of here. Slam
I
that
like
door.
causing trouble.
Slam that door.
See you, Reed.
Leave it open, Reed. Reed.
There we go. All right. Okay, it is 7:35. We'll continue with general business. Then we have an appointment at 7:45. Let me see. Uh-oh. Okay, general business number 3. Request from Library Director Pam Jacobson to lift the hiring, God bless, lift the hiring freeze for the library technician position. The board has received a letter from Library Director Jacobson to lift the hiring freeze.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a
Second it.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Moving on to general business number 4. A letter from Highway Surveyor Runkeep, donation of mulch. The board has received a letter from Highway Surveyor Keep requesting to acknowledge the donation of mulch from Chickadee Hill Farm. The selectmen must vote to accept the donation. Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion from the board? All those in favor?
Aye. Can we include with that motion to send the letter?
Yes. And can we have a thank you to Mr. Jeffrey Head?
Jeff
Yeah.
Head.
Okay. Yeah, Jeffrey, thank you very much for listening tonight. And I have a motion to send a
Second
letter.
it. Good job.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I'd just like to add that the Highway Department did a great job with the common this year for the Memorial Day.
Yes, it looked very nice.
Did a wonderful job. They really did. Okay, moving on to general business number 5. Letter from Division of Marine and Fisheries Harvesting of Oysters. The board has received a letter from the Division of Marine Fisheries. See attached, describe a list of permit conditions for harvesting of oysters which apply to commercial shellfish permits and aquaculture propagation permits and will be in effect from May 24, 2013 through October 20th, 2013. Shellfish Commissioner Jack Gumstrom requested the Board of Selectmen to read this letter into the record. Okay. Permit conditions. Commercial permit conditions pertaining to the harvest of oysters to minimize risk from, oh boy. Vibrio para, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. An infectious oyster disease, okay? How's that? In response to...
VP, sir.
Huh? Yes, VP. Yeah. VP and oysters. Okay. In response to federal public health mandates to minimize the risk of association with VP related to consumption of raw oysters, the Division of Marine Fisheries has amended the VP control plan for 2013 by reestablishing permit conditions from 2012 and including some substantial amendments. These conditions seasonally govern the activities of commercial oyster harvesters operating in Massachusetts waters and seafood dealers, primarily buyers, that purchase the raw oysters from commercial harvesters. These permit conditions have the force of law pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Section 130, Section 80, 3 and 322 CMR 7-01, parenthesis 7. The plan and these permit conditions affect the harvest of wild oysters from the public fisheries to commercial shellfish permit holders in the town of Wellfleet and from all aquaculture operations within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The plan requires icing of harvesters immediately upon landing, and subsequently the primary buyer must cool the oysters to minus 50 degrees within 10 hours after the time of harvest, or in the case of intertidal harvest, when the oysters become exposed to the air as indicated on the harvest tag pursuant to Massachusetts General Law 130, Section 80, in 322 CMR 7-01, parenthesis 7, your 2013 commercial shellfish permit in aquaculture propagation permit BMF ID 9902, and hereby conditions during the period of May 24th through October 20th. All bags or containers of oysters shall be tagged, and tags shall include the time of harvest. This is in addition to the harvest date, harvest area identification of harvester, type of shellfish stock, and quantity. Time of harvest shall be placed on the tag with indelible ink at the actual beginning of the harvest. All oysters shall be adequately shaded during the transport from the harvest area in primary buyer. All oysters shall be adequately iced upon landing. Shellfish handling by harvesters. Pre-bagging and pre-collecting oysters, section A.7, A through C, and E of VP control plan have been modified for 2012. These provisions were intended to deal with the actual bagging of the oysters in the final container bag that would be used to convey the oysters to the primary buyer. It was designated to assist the growers in meeting the 5-hour time restriction from the time of the harvest to receipt at the primary buyer. Since the 5-hour time restriction was eliminated from the 2013 VP control plan, these pre-bagging required A7, A, B, and E have been rescinded. Oysters may be sorted on the culture site as part of the normal maintenance and culturing, and section A7C will still apply if growers pre-bag before the tape removal, making the final date of removal from the water the harvest date. Each harvester shall each harvester shall keep a bound harvest log book that records the date, time, and harvest of the amount of harvested bushels, count bags, recorded in indelible ink. Logbooks shall be filled out before the day's harvest leaves the harvest area. The harvesters may choose to maintain the logbooks electronically, cell phone, tablet, computer, provided records comply with section A, 7, D, and E of the 2013 VP control plan, and harvesters are able to provide those records to the Shellfish Control Authority immediately upon request. C. The 2013 VP control plan prohibits the removal of market-sized oysters, either legal or petites, from the private shellfish aquaculture grant to any off-site location for culling and the subsequent placement of the market-sized oysters in commerce. That is, transporting the oysters from an off-site location to the primary buyer, as stated by Section A.1 of 2013 VP Control Plan. No provision of this plan shall apply to the seed oysters. Seed oysters may be removed at any time from the aquaculture grant for culling, provided it is done in accordance with the provisions set forth in Marine Fisheries Aquaculture Propagation Permit, Aquaculture Permit. These permit conditions are effective May 24, 2013 through October 20th, 2013. Ms. Major Len Roberts, Massachusetts Law Enforcement, Michael Moore, Kim Kelly, Eric Hickey, Massachusetts Department of Public Health. Do we need to vote on that? My goodness.
No,
Just read into the record.
Jeff
Read into the
Marshall just
record.
asked that to be read into the record to alert people about this.
No, it's very important when you go in, that is because when you go into the stores, especially the environmental police and everything else, all those laws pertain to the catches of the
Yes.
oysters and the clams and all that, but the oysters, that's very important. I don't know if people realize that when you go into the seafood shelves in the fishery stores or in the supermarkets, all those are all tagged, and there's right from the time they're harvested all the way in right to the store, there's tags telling you where that catch came from. So that is an important part of our food safety. Okay, moving on to number 6.
Actually, 7:45 appointment.
Oh, 7:45, you're right, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thanks, Bob, that's why you're there.
Exactly.
Keep me honest.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. Curran,
Yes, sir.
please come forward. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have a 7:45 appointment with Richard Curran to discuss the Personnel Board vacancy. The Board of Selectmen has received a letter and resume from Richard Curran, see attached, requesting appointment to the Personnel Board as a resident appointee. The term would be through June 30th, 2014. Also see attached letter of support of Mr. Curran. In the first letter from Mr. Curran, 16 Cedarwood Lane. Says, "Dear Board of Selectmen, I am writing you because my interest in be considered as a candidate for opening on the Personnel Board. As a selectman, I served the Personnel Board and performed all the duties required up to and including negotiation of contracts. I have enclosed my resume, and if selected, look forward to serving the town in this capacity. Thank you very much. Richard Curran, 16 Cedarwood Lane." I think you have a very impressive resume here.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell us your story, Richard.
I served as a Personnel Board member, representative from the Board of Selectmen, and I had the pleasure of serving along with Ron Perkins, he was the registered voter, and Jack Demento was the Finance Committee person. I enjoyed that very much. In my business, throughout my career, I served as both a management position for the union and also a management position for the company. I've negotiated contracts, I've handled grievances, I've written job descriptions, I've done job evaluations. I enjoyed it when I was a selectman, and when Mr. Perkins passed away, that opening was available. At that time, I did make my desires known that I would be interested in it, but I didn't go forward at that time because Mr. Peterson actually had thrown his hat into the ring. So I did let them know, the town administrator know, that I would be interested in it if it was to open again. I brought something to the table the last time. I feel as though I could do something for the town again. My wife and I have been here for over 40 years. As a selectman, I felt as though I did some things for the town, hopefully to move it forward. And once again, I'd like to have the pleasure to serve the town again and bring some of that expertise and knowledge forward.
Any questions from the board?
Well, just as long as he understands that just because he's been here 40 years doesn't make him a native.
I will tell you a story prior to my wife and I moving here. I worked with one of the Elwells at USM in Beverly, and we looked at the house on Cedarwood Lane, we put a bid in on it, and we purchased it. Now, Mr. Elwell worked in the same department I did, and we only had one car at the time. So I asked him, I told him, we've purchased a house in Raleigh, and I'd be interested. We only have one vehicle. I'd like to see if I could drive back and forth with you. He says, "Oh, good, fine." He says, "Congratulations." He says, "But let me tell you a little something." He says, "Here's how you want to move into Raleigh. You move in at night. You don't ever You pull your blinds down, leave them down. You don't put your children outside to play. And remember one thing, no matter how long you live here, you'll never be a native.
There you go.
There you go.
Gotta write down Pat.
As a Bob said.
True words.
Yep, yep.
Well, the one thing I have to say, we're just like Ezekiel Rogers, immigrants.
Yes. This is true.
Yeah, as a resident of the town for 43 years, I can agree with you. You're not considered.
As a member of the
You're
personnel
still a
board,
newcomer.
as a member of the personnel board, we welcome you back.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having a complete board. We got a lot of stuff we're doing, so
Right.
I'll make the motion to.
Do I have any other questions?
No,
Okay, now,
going
I'll
well.
make the motion.
I have a motion,
I'll second
I
it.
have a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Richard, welcome to the Personnel Board. Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you for your service.
The term for,
Yes.
David?
clarification
Till
on that.
June 20.
The term, yes, June 30th, 2014.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Dick?
Thank you very much. Jack?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Archie?
Okay, where did number 6 go? Must got stuck to something in here. Okay. General business number 6, Northeast Mosquito Control Wetlands Management District Notice of Aerial Application of Control Mosquito Larvae on the coastal salt marshes. The board has received a press release regarding aerial application to control mosquito larvae, which will be applied over the salt marsh in Ipswich and Raleigh. I'll read the press release from Jack A. Carr, Director, Northeast Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District. Please include the following press release in the next edition of the Ipswich Chronicle, North Shore Weekly. Should you require any information, please regard contact 978-463-6630. Northeast Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District anticipate it may be necessary to conduct a helicopter application of biological larvicide, BTI, to control mosquito larvae over salt marshes in Ipswich and Raleigh during daylight hours between May 29, 2012 and June 7, 2013. The material to be applied is BTI is a natural bacterium found in soil and water. BTI is very selective larvicide, which is non-toxic to people as well as birds, fish, bees, virtually all insect species. BTI only affects mosquito larvae and a few closely related aquatic insects in the fly family. BTI will be applied by helicopter flying low directly over the salt marsh. The product name for BTI is Vectorvac 12AS EPA regulation number 7304938. Residents need not take any special cautions due to the safety of BTI and because the application will occur directly over the salt marsh and not residential areas. For further information, call Jack A. Carr, Director of Northeast Massachusetts Mosquito Control Wetlands Management District, again, 978-463-6630. Okay, it's 7:55. Moving on to number 7, National Grid opening permit. Request 149 Dodge Road for corrosion work. The attached road opening permit has been signed by Highway Surveyor Ron Keefe and Conservation Agent Frank Baselak. Board needs to vote. Has everybody looked over the application?
Give you a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's one of those we have to all sign, gentlemen. Bob? Okay, moving on to National Grid, general business number 8, National Grid Road opening permit, request 149 Dodge Road by Long Hill Road for corrosion work. Okay, attached road opening permit has been signed by Highway Surveyor Ron Keefe and Conservation Agent Brent Baselak. Has everybody looked over the...
I'll give you the motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We all have to sign? Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Joe. Okay, moving on to general business number 9, email letter from Concom in 8 towns and a Bay member, Robert Carpenter. Not seeking reappointment, Robert Carpenter has stated in attached emails that he would like to remain on the Open Space Committee and the Community Preservation Committee. His appointment to CPC is through June 30th, 2014, but does not wish to be reappointed to Conservation Commission in 8 towns in the Bay. Okay. Can I have a motion?
We have to, need a motion for that, or just,
I think to,
just as
To
long as he
accept his
reappointed?
he doesn't, yeah. We need a
He's
motion?
just not looking for
Just not a
reappointment, right?
reappointment,
So
that's all.
Yeah, we appointed him to the
Yeah,
first
but
one
that's what we
tonight.
did, that's right.
Right,
So,
first one, so.
Probably it would be in order to make a motion to accept his resignation.
He's not resigning, he's just not seeking
The term
reappointment.
is just,
he's just gonna let it run out, so he's
They'll
not
have
resigning.
some vacancies that the
Well-
board will need to post.
Certainly, I would, maybe we should send him a letter of
Sent
thank you.
a letter for
Yeah.
thank you for serving on the,
He has been quite active in these committees.
Yes.
So,
they have a motion to...
I'll make the motion, we send it down.
I'll second.
I
Carpenter.
have a second, all those in
Letter.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'll send them a letter.
Can I
Thank
ask
you.
what the 8 towns in the Bay committee is? Not that I'm sticking my neck out again.
You could get appointed if you ask that question.
If you call Mr.
Maybe
Carpenter, he
no.
can explain, I'm sure he'd be willing to explain it to you.
It first came into, what was it, about 5 years ago?
well, it's been longer than that.
It's been a long
It's
time.
been longer than that?
Mr. Chairman, can we get a motion from the board to authorize us to post vacancies on the 8 towns in the Bay and the conservation?
So moved.
Yes, I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, Ruth Alexander was around when I first started. Ruth Alexander.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a while.
Okay, we'll stop at number 9, we'll commence with number 10, but it is now 8 o'clock. And if I can find, we have Police Chief Barker to discuss donation of Police Department website services. Thank you. Okay,
Number 10 is his too, so it works out perfect.
Wow, that's good timing.
perfect timing, we're just right in there. We're in the groove.
very smooth.
Very smooth. Our biorhythms are all right, but, okay. Police Chief Barker discussed the,
Actually, Chief, the long kid that we planned it that way.
Well, I'd like
Yeah,
to
Chief.
introduce Michael.
They're dropping the
Polonia.
puck right now.
Mike, come on up, please.
Mike was kind enough to contact me a month or so ago and donate his services. He designs websites professionally, and he was browsing ours for some reason, and he said, boy, that looks outdated. And you know what? He's right, because it was designed in 2003, and it's been my job to try to keep up with it.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, back when that happened, I was probably still a lieutenant, so I've got too much to do. So when Mr. Bollier came forward and said he'd like to do that, I thought we should bring it in front of the board. One of the reasons we're bringing it in front of the board is because he is a professional, and to pay for his services, if we paid for services such as this, it'd be about $2,500. So we thought it was appropriate for the town to make an official determination whether we should accept this. You could just call it a gift, I guess.
Yes.
But,
It's a very generous donation
Yes,
to the
very
It
town.
is.
Very, very nice.
I've put together a short little agreement just so that we can be on the same page. It basically says that we own everything that belongs to the Raleigh Police website belongs to us. We have full control over it. No advertising, and either party can back out at any time with no recourse, basically. I don't think there'll be any issues, but do you have any?
Mike, can I say that Bolio?
Bollier.
Bolio.
Yes.
Bolio. Okay. I used to was in the Marine Corps and spelled his name the same way, Baloo.
He just didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he came from southern New Hampshire.
That's what it was, yeah.
Okay, this is. I'll just read this in the record. This constitutes an agreement between the town of Raleigh and Mike
Bollier.
to provide website design services for the police department on a volunteer basis, in value of which is estimated $2,500. The website and any data or images associated with this the sole property and remain under control of the town of Raleigh. The chief of police is authorized to accept such services and to oversee the design and content of such site. Sorry.
Mr. Bollier, that's fine.
Baloo. Well,
Mr. B.
agrees that, it'll take me about 6 months to get your name on it. Agrees that the Raleigh Police website may not contain any advertisement nor may be commercially advertised for any reason. Either party may terminate this agreement at any time without recourse. And Robert Mark. Okay.
So if it's agreeable to you, gentlemen, we'd like to proceed to put this into effect.
Any questions from the board?
Sounds good.
It's a very, as I said earlier,
Yes,
it's a very, very generous
Very
donation.
generous.
Larry?
Larry?
Just one question. Who would be responsible for the updating of the website?
It's an excellent question.
That's a very good question.
The goal that I have in mind in putting together what we'll put together would allow town staff, police department staff, without knowledge of HTML, to be able to maintain and update the site. The thought is that each department or each person who has responsibilities would be able to update their own portions of the site, with the oversight of the chief, of course.
Yeah, that appears to be a weak link in all of our websites and various committees and boards is the updating, or even more importantly, taking the expired stuff off.
Right.
We seem to have that problem, but we really can't push them too hard because most of them are volunteers anyway. So
Well, that's what's intriguing about this proposal from Mike is that we will be able to update it ourselves in plain language. Right now, if something needs to be updated, I have to dust off my pretty meager knowledge of HTML and sit down and try to code something in, and it takes time. But if they can do it in plain language, just like updating a Facebook page, then I think this will serve us very well.
One of the nice things is that on the platform I intend to use, there would be the ability to put something on the website and set a start date and an end date, so that when it's supposed to be off, it'll be off whether somebody remembers to do it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
That's why it's good to have professionals.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Otherwise, it stays up there forever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to speak on behalf of the town website, and I did have this conversation with the chief. We do have an official town of Raleigh website. Some of the larger departments link off that to have their, like their own website. So we still have the police department page on the town of Raleigh website. You can access right to the police department website off that page. So we do try to keep
It's right
things
off our main
uniform,
page.
that all the departments are on the town website
Yes.
and still have a page but they have such a large operation, a lot of information, and some are interactive, like the library, that they do link off that. So that will not change.
That will not change at all.
Okay,
Very good.
all right.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, I move
Yes.
that we accept Mr. B's proposal and authorize the police chief to sign the contract.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mike, that was
My
very,
pleasure.
Very,
very,
very.
thank you.
My pleasure.
Sounds like you have a good relationship
Yeah,
with the chief.
because
Go forward, go.
I'm gonna take this contract.
Sure.
back.
I noticed that the stuff that's on the town's website is not directly linked to the police department's website. It's duplicate content. So you might want to change, I don't know who does that, but you might want to change it so that it actually looks at the police chief's website, so that when the police department's website changes, that will automatically change, because it's just looking at like an iframe or something.
Well, we wanted to have a standard appearance on all the department pages, and so we wanted the familiarity of seeing, when you opened up the police department page, it looked the same as the selectmen's page or another page. That's why we deliberately created it that
Gotcha.
way.
Okay.
And the police department actually already had a website up before we even got the town website up, and then they had a long appearance in town. Probably with that.
We paid for that one.
Okay. So that's why we deliberately kept it that way, so it would look similar to the other pages.
I understand. I understand.
But, it's something we can talk about if it's better.
Mike, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you,
Okay.
gentlemen.
Chief,
you very
thank you.
much.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm gonna take care of your next business right
Okay.
here.
Thank you.
I'll wait.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Chief, thank you.
Okay,
Facing off.
I know it.
We'll be in touch.
Just sign it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
okay, appointment, number 10, general business. Appointment of Robert Bruno to position of reserve dispatcher. Chief Barker sent an email letter that he has chosen Robert Bruno to fill the position of reserve dispatcher. Board of Selectmen has already voted to lift the hiring freeze for this position. The Board of Selectmen may vote to appoint Mr. Bruno to the position of reserve dispatcher. Any questions from the board? Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion. We appoint Mr. Robert Bruno.
I have a motion
2016, right, June 30th.
to 20,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
I have
that.
a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have a
Thanks,
dispatch?
chief.
Okay,
Two easy ones.
thanks, chief.
He's gonna see the Bruins for us.
I am. I'm gonna be watching for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief. You're there for us.
All right, the payback.
Okay, letter of resignation from Nathaniel Luchek from Open Space Committee. Town Clerk Susan Hazen received a letter of resignation from Nathaniel Luchek. See attached Open Space letter. Dear Susan, I recently accepted a position at a law firm in Buffalo, New York. We'll be moving next month. Therefore, I am resigning from Open Space Committee effective immediately. I believe that all my work related to the town's open space plan was already shared with the transferred to other members of the committee. Please contact me if you need any additional information. Nathaniel Luchek, sincerely.
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept Mr. Luchek's resignation with regret.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have
If we could
do I have a motion to send a...
send him a letter, please.
Yes, Jack. I have a motion for...
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to post the position.
Yes.
Second?
I have a second. All those in
Right
favor?
along.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Boy, we did that one. Great.
Hey, we're getting pretty good at this.
Yeah, I know. If we keep this up,
We
we'll...
should give her one motion, we can do them all.
What, then I won't lose my voice. All right, okay, moving on to new business. Discuss health insurance enrollment audit. Letter from Deborah Egan. Okay, health insurance enrollment audit. Under the new municipal health care reform law, the town must conduct an enrollment audit not less than once every 2 years. The town has the opportunity to have its audit done at no cost through Meyer Health Benefits Trust. Meyer has contracted with HMS Employer Solutions to provide this service to municipalities in the Meyer Health Benefits Trust. The health insurance enrollment eligibility is determined under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 32B. The town needs to take the following steps in order to have the HMS Employer Solutions conduct the audit. 1. The Board of Selectmen vote to participate in the enrollment audit by HMS Employer Solutions. 2. Board of Selectmen signs the enrollment participation agreement. 3. Signed agreement is returned to Maya Health Benefits Trust by June 14th.
I'll make a motion that we,
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recuse myself, because I am a participant in the town health insurance.
Okay, we sign on the back. Deb, is that where the,
no, there were,
The last page, governmental unit, enrollment audit participation agreement, governmental unit.
excuse me.
oh, there it is. Oh. Thing's falling apart, Bob, watch it. Yeah, I need that. I need that. Sorry. Yeah, we gotta do it. We got the, I'm missing something from this. No, there's another piece I'm missing. I believe.
No, I think it's attached under the head.
Is it on the underside?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Debbie's job is sort it all out.
We'll figure it out, don't worry.
We always do, right? One way or the other.
Maybe I go through that folder back together.
Okay, number 2, new business, discuss firefighting cooperative agreement and federal personnel property agreement. Please see the attached letter. From Town Administrator Deborah Egan, the board may vote to accept and sign the firefighting cooperative agreement and federal personal property agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself
Okay,
from this action. I'll be in the audit.
understood, Bob? Okay, this, from Chief Broderick to the Board of Selectmen. Reference signing the DOD firefighting cooperative agreement and federal personnel property cooperative agreement. Members of the board, I have enclosed 2 documents that will
Enable? Is there
that's-
something
yeah,
missing?
There's something missing. Enable the Raleigh Fire Department to procure firefighting equipment through the Department of Defense excess property and federal government excess property programs. These documents need to be signed by the town fire chief and the chairman of the Board of Selectmen. Once these documents are signed, it will allow the fire department the ability to obtain equipment that would not allow it to perform its duties for little to no cost to the town. In the past, the Raleigh Fire Department has obtained equipment for firefighting on several occasions. Please remember this to be another tool for assessing equipment and not a guarantee of our ability to secure equipment. I will make myself available to the board to discuss the documents and explain the merits of both these access programs. With that,
Make a motion to
I have a motion to
authorize the chairman to sign.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I think there's, yeah, there's a second one you have to sign.
Yeah, this is the second one. No? It's- Oh, yeah. Yeah, the yellow copy and the blue copy.
Right.
There we go. Okay, moving on to new business number 3. Discuss water treatment plant change orders. In accordance with the Board of Selectmen procedure, in the event of water change orders to the Water Department treatment plant project, the following change order number 4 and change order number 5 are attached for your review. At the Board of Water Commissioners meeting April 11, 2013, the board voted to approve change order number 4, a vote of 2-0. At the board, number 2, at the Board of Water Commissioners meeting May 28th, the board voted to approve change order number 5, vote 2-1. Any comments from the board? Any comments on number 1, change order number 4?
These are the contract amounts, and this is the net change on the, what is it, the second page of the document?
I would say the second page, right there. Item number 4,
Yep.
okay. Description of change, provide 168 linear feet of 316 stainless steel valve chain wheel, chain instead of hot dip galvanized chain for operating overhead valves to the water treatment plant. And it's a cost of $3,009. Then number 5, required to eliminate removal of abandoned 2 4-inch primary electrical conduits and access drive to the water treatment plant, and that is a negative $3,478. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I'm just curious. All right, number 1, you're talking providing 600 linear feet. I mean, I'm not overly familiar with the project, so I'm probably speaking out of turn. The water stopped the interior walls. This wasn't included in the design of the project. And in number 3, a larger makeup area. It sounds to me like there's design issues here that, why all of a sudden do we need to have a larger unit than what was originally designed for? What else was done?
Dave, you met attending the meeting, so did you attend
No,
this?
I didn't. I only attended one, but I mean, it's just, we probably have no choice, but I mean, watching some of this stuff on television too, it seemed like there's a lot of these change orders are something that's, I don't know if we want to call them defects, but they're issues with the design. It isn't like they're drilling in the ground and all of a sudden discover a big boulder that's got to be dug out. The size of the change order to make up a larger unit to keep the temperature at 65 degrees Fahrenheit, that wasn't in the original specs. You know what I mean? To be able to do that with a size unit that they designed. And I'm not familiar enough that, these might be not valid questions, but...
You got a good point there, Dave. I asked a question, and Commissioner Toomey was up on this. Practically the whole board asked how come this wasn't, it was put to the engineer and Barbara Cook from Weston Sampson. How come this wasn't in the specs? A lot of the stuff that is changed. So a lot of this got by them. They didn't write it, like A to Z, and we missed, M and D. That's the...
What do they mean, Jack? They got by them?
Mr. Chairman, has the water board sent a letter to Weston and Sampson asking them for clarification under their contract with the town as to why there are defects in design work?
Yeah.
That would be maybe a question.
Can we send a letter up to, Larry, do you have anything to?
Yes, their new person, John, he's going to approach Weston and Sampson and ask them, he's basically saying, you know, we should approve the recent changes. However, these design defects are not going to be tolerated, and he wants to know if there are any other impending defects or things that have been missed or something like that. Because I think the water board basically agrees with you that, you know, these things are not acceptable when you leave out a beam at the front of the building and you leave out electrical connections and stuff like that. There's a design defect, and that Weston and Sampson should be responsible for.
Yeah, I
changes.
tuned into the night that they talked about the beam in front of the building, and then I think it was the same night, or maybe the next week, that they talked about the electrical circuit that wasn't there. And I mean, you have a piece of equipment,
Right.
and if you're going to have an electrical piece of equipment, you have to have you have to have wire to go to
someone
it
to stand up and say,
to
well,
run it.
you know, typically the change orders represent, you know, 5% of what the
Right.
total cost is, and we're running at 2% is
Yeah, they're trying to tell us how good they're doing.
inexcusable. Okay, because like we say, they're not running into a boulder or something else, or working with another contractor that something doesn't fit or things like that. They're responsible for the whole plant. Therefore,
This is their design
yes.
to design the water treatment plant. So,
And it's not their
Larry,
first
you're
design.
absolutely right. I mean, you run into a boulder, that's
Unforeseen.
unforeseen. But the electrical line that goes from point A to point B, and it's not there,
Exactly. And it's
that's
not
not,
like
that's not an unforeseen.
this is
That's
the first water treatment plant that they have designed. And the thing has been checked, I think, by at least 4 times by various people. And to still have this oversight should still be the responsibility of the primary contractor and not the town.
The total for the change orders here is $46,154.
Oh.
My guess is that if we, and the night I was there, that the argument you get is if we don't get these, we're gonna hold up the project, which creates another issue of completion dates,
Yes.
more costs. But I wonder if there's I'm assuming, without being a construction expert, that we need these things, whether they were designed in or not designed.
Exactly.
But I guess I would want to reserve our ability, and I don't know how we do this legally, but reserve our ability to seek restitution on the items that were misdesigned or left out of the design upon completion of the project, or, you know what I mean? In other words, we can't hold the whole project up for $40,000 worth of design changes, but on the other hand, is there a way that we can, you know, we okay them, but reserve our right to seek restitution at whatever is the appropriate time to do that? I don't know if we can do that or not. It's just-
If I remember right, I was watching one of those meetings, as Bob has watched them also. And that, basically that question was asked.
okay.
And their reply was that if they designed the plant without any problems, it would cost us more money to do the design than what the bid was to do the design.
Did you say that again, Bob?
You can't make this stuff up, Bob. You really can't.
No, I think you
They
need to
said-
repeat that, because I think people at home get lost too.
Okay, I mean,
Okay,
what they're saying is, they design a plan.
right,
They sit down, they give you a cost to design that plan. So they've got X number of dollars into the plan.
right.
And they're saying there are problems built into the plan because they don't, if it was completely correct and nothing was wrong, the cost would be so much more money to do the plan than what we actually got for the bid to do the plan. So what they're saying is, they really design flaws into the plan itself because of the money factor and how much it costs to put the plan together. That was their reply.
They designed flaws into it?
No, they didn't say that.
No.
What they're saying is, if there were no flaws, the cost of designing the plan would be so high we wouldn't be able to afford it.
Right, if they went through the plan and they
Well, there's a-
fine-tuned it to a point, we just couldn't afford the planning.
Well, the problem you run into is like, we go out to bid
For the plan.
for the
Right.
plan, and then
Right.
when it comes in, we have people, whether it's the town administrator or whoever that goes through and double checks these things. My guess would be with a treatment plant that, nobody, I don't know who they had,
Well,
who did the water department hire to look at the design or whatever, you know what I'm saying? In other words, none of us would have the expertise to look at a treatment plant and say, oh, wait a minute, you left this out here.
part of the design process, doing the design itself, requires by state law a peer review. So you need an engineer to draw the plan. Then you need another engineer that has nothing to do with engineer number one to also review that plan and make sure it's okay. Now, nobody seems to know who
But
did the
this
design
is
review.
like, what you're getting into here is, okay, we'll give you a plan that meets your budget, but it isn't gonna be right, then you're gonna have to come up with more money later anyway. You pay me now or pay me later is what we're talking about.
There's a 5% contingency supposedly calculated in, and it's supposed to cover these change orders. Now,
Yeah, no,
as
I-
Larry
Well, so
has
you-
said, they're only at 2.5%, but we're not anywhere near finished with the
no,
project.
I mean, we
Do you have a
don't.
design consultant engineer? Someone that's sort of a title?
It's part of the bid process.
Mr. Chairman, I think that the selectmen would need to review the contract with Weston and Sampson. They were hired by the water board to develop the specifications for this construction project. These change orders will address the costs that need to be made to Kinsman Corporation, the general contractor on site, but it gets back to reviewing the invoices that came from Weston and Sampson for work that was to be completed that should have been correct before they were authorized for payment. Now we find out, at some point, where is the correspondence between Weston and Sampson and the town of Rowley notifying the town that there were identified at some point design flaws in specifications that they were paid to produce. So I think that Weston and Sampson is under contract with the town for a fully complete set of bid documents and specifications, and a determination needs to be made if they in fact didn't produce something that was correct. Is there any dialogue between the water board and Weston and Sampson on mitigating the costs of their services to cover this? Now it's an increase to the construction that we didn't plan on, but there was an expectation when they got paid that they were producing something that met code requirements and things like that to construct a building for electrical code, building code. And if that's not the case, then maybe there needs to be some examination of what's provided for under the Weston and Sampson contract.
Can we do that by, in other words, they've got to do the change orders to make this thing run, but I don't know whether we can reserve our right or direct them to see if we can recoup some of these costs for, if they're actual design flaws, and, granted they're relatively small in a $12 million project, but I mean, they build up over time. And then you get into the concern of it, there are other things that aren't being done that should have been designed in, and, so on and so forth, so.
I think that's what John Hargraves is his intent to meet with Weston and Sampson and discuss with them, kind of what else is out there that you're not telling us type of a thing. To try to, we'll say, at least put it into this holding.
Well, I guess what disturbs me, Larry, is
end date over their heads as far as you don't sign it and the date keeps slipping type of thing.
okay, I'm glad to see John Hargraves, because of what appears to me is happening is Weston and Sampson has got issues. They're just kind of dumping them on the table and blaming the town or the board because you didn't appropriate enough money or something. I mean, this went through two different separate appropriations in terms of...
Well, they're not blaming the board, but what they're saying is...
Well, I mean, but they're not taking responsibility for it.
A normal way of doing business is that, you know, we find out that, you know, we don't have any electrical connections for something, or, you know, we left out a support beam at the front of the building. And, we pay for a, you know, complete working system, you know, which supposedly has been reviewed by, you know, on four separate occasions by Weston Sampson, the peer, somebody else, and probably Rowley had somebody look at it.
Yeah, I mean, who picks the peers? I mean, is it a...
I
you know what I mean? I don't know. We don't have enough. I would just say I don't mind approving these myself because I think we need to move forward. But on the other hand, I think we need to let Weston and Sampson all know that we were interested in recouping, or at least some valid explanations at a public meeting as to what wasn't in the plans and why wasn't it.
We'll approve this one, but that's got to be the end of, you know.
I think we need an explanation, a detailed explanation of why.
But I want to be careful that we're not holding up the project if we don't obey.
That's very important.
We need to move this thing forward.
Yeah, that's exactly why they approved the change orders with a lot of reservation and discussion. The problem with having the date slip would be worse financially than...
Well, are we required to approve them? Was it set up that the board has to approve them before they go forward, or we're just reviewing them?
The selectmen requested, Dave, you know, back in the winter time, when the selectmen began investigating different things in the water department, to actually have an opportunity to review them. So they were sent over here. This was the April one and the May one. So just to have an opportunity to...
But we don't have any power of...
The selectmen haven't been involved in the bidding, the contractor, or in anything, other than you will have to sign them once they go through the process of being paid.
Eventually we sign
I have tuned in, and I've seen Chairman Toomey going down through, the list here and asking questions, especially he asked about that piece of wire missing from point A to point B. I mean, that's a design flaw I just can't understand.
Right. Could we just send them a letter of our being upset, or whatever the proper town administrator could word it properly, that we have serious concerns about these
change orders
that appear to
increase.
be, at least on the surface, design issues that...
Right. Can somebody give me a motion?
I'll give you a motion.
Second. Before we do that,
excuse me?
are you going to make a motion on the letter?
The letter, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, make a motion
I
on
do
the
have
letter.
a question when we get finished with that. I do have a question when we get finished.
Yeah.
Okay. So a motion, all those in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I also would like to comment that a year ago, not at this past town meeting, but a year ago at town meeting when we approved a $3 million increase, and how, we had approved $9 million and then another $3 million increase. And there were concerns then on the floor at town meeting that, what else is going to, what other increases are we going to see to this project that we're not aware of at this point?
Well, see, they're trying to tell us that the cost overruns are, 5%, but they're doing such a great job, they're only at 2%. Well, I mean, I'm not sure how great of a job it was done in figuring out the initial cost of this whole project.
Right,
exactly. I mean, if they knew that, if it was sort of designed without knowing there wasn't enough money to design it properly, then, that there was almost like built-in cost overruns that, I don't know, it's confusing, and I wasn't involved in the beginning, so.
Well, the former chairman of the water board told us that this was the absolute last number, correct?
Right.
So I remember.
Well, I think the point is, though, we may come in within the 12 million, but if we can come in at 11 million instead of 11,500,000, I think the ratepayers would certainly appreciate having. Well, and we may not run out of money on the top end, but certainly would like not to spend the whole 12
No.
million either if we can avoid it. Particularly if it's due to negligence or poor planning or poor whatever on somebody's part.
Sure.
We hired to do the thing correctly.
Bob, you had another question?
Yes, on this change order number 4, item number 3, which is the, to change the makeup air unit to a larger size. Obviously, the original specs priced out a air handling unit, air makeup unit. Now they're requesting an upgrade to that unit. Is this $7,824
It's
the
additional.
total cost? Or is it in, if we got a credit for the smaller unit?
I believe that's an additional 7,000.
Above and beyond the original estimate for the smaller unit? Is that what you're saying, Dave?
I believe it. Yeah, I believe these are the additional costs in the change order, right? 'Cause otherwise,
It should be the cost differential.
I believe it's the cost differential, not, otherwise they would have told us that the other one, oh yeah, we don't have a comparison of the two units.
So obviously from the looks of the model numbers, we've doubled the size of the unit. We've gone from an MS-80A to an MS.
Yeah, because Bob, if you go to page 6 of the 6, it lists all the items 1 through 10, and with a total figure of 28,000 is the total cost of the change order.
Right, but I'm wondering if it's costing that much more to upgrade it.
Yes, yes, that's what I would interpret it as.
So they've doubled the price, basically, because we're going from an MS-40A to an MS-80A.
Yeah. it's
So in
probably-
other words, it's, instead of being $7,000 on the original bid, it's now gonna be over $14,000.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it would be kinda nice if they would
Close to 60.
give us a credit for the smaller unit and put the real price down.
Mr. Chairman, if you'd like us, we could see if we could get this references a see attached proposal from Kinsman Corporation dated November 29, 2012. Would you like us to obtain a copy of that from the board,
It may be
Yes.
helpful,
since it was not included in the package?
Do we need to vote for that?
the backup information.
Oh,
I mean, it makes reference to backup information in every one of these, and there is no backup information attached to this particular document.
Would you like us to,
Have a motion to
request
send a letter and request backup information on motion.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anything else, Bob? On this?
That's the one I had on that particular one.
That's the one I picked up on too, that it was,
Yeah.
obviously they changed the whole unit, so it wasn't,
Yeah,
you know,
and-
for some reason or other,
Yeah.
the design was that they only needed a small unit. Suddenly they're realizing, as they're building this, they need a double-sized unit.
Well, it doesn't,
Who's,
obviously it
problem
doesn't
is
meet the
that?
temperature line. Well, I mean, somebody made a mistake, and
oh yeah, but
those
we,
things will happen,
yeah,
but are we double paying for it, is what I'm trying to find out. If we've already appropriated money in the budget,
Right.
in the original bid,
Right.
to buy one of these units,
Right.
is this half the price? Is that other money credited towards us, so that we only have to pay this? Or-
yeah, I'm interpreting it as it's an
Yeah,
increase
instead
in
of-
price.
No, Mr. Chairman, they would have had to have had, when Weston and Sampson wrote the bid specs, they would have identified a model. Kinsman would look it up, the cost of it, and then any wage-related work to install it at prevailing wage rates. And so that's how the bidders come up with their cost estimation.
The total price. yeah.
So the specifications obviously were not correct, and they needed a larger unit.
It says see attached proposal from Kinsman. I don't see attached.
Right. So that's what we
Yeah,
are
so
requesting,
we
that
put that,
information.
okay. All right.
See, all these change orders are already on page. It says it's gonna extend the completion work date by 19 calendar days.
Right.
I don't know,
All right, moving on.
get away from that one.
Well, I think
We beat it to death.
we beat it to death, yes, we did. Okay, now, moving on to old business number 1. Discuss Yankee Pine invoices for the water department. Okay, the Board of Selectmen is holding 2 Yankee Pine bills, $96.83. These were grouped with the PRS group bills, which were released by the Board of Selectmen several months ago, unlike the Maglio properties and Gothier Electric, which did not have valid contracts in which there was no appropriation to fund their work. The Yankee Pine invoices total $96.83 in our materials for the garage. The water board is holding 2 invoices. Number 100704666 for $23.61 and invoice 1007361 for $405.17. Water Board Chairman Tim Toomey told Debbie today that the Water Board will be discussing these invoices during the meeting on Wednesday. So, gentlemen, what is your feeling about these 2 invoices?
Well, I mean, I'm certainly disappointed that we haven't seen these invoices. We weren't even notified of these invoices when we got the previous ones that we didn't know about. And now we're kind of up against the wall here because we're running out of this fiscal year.
Yes.
And if we go beyond June 30th, it'll take a 9/10 vote at a town meeting to pay these bills. So, I don't know. Hopefully the water board will vote to pay these bills and send them down to us so we can get the paperwork going.
The first issue that
We're
we
just-
go back to are the 2 from December that when the water board came in to meet with the selectmen, they was
Yes.
grouped with the PRS group invoices, and the water board addressed that in a letter and described what the PRS group had some wiring in the garage addition. In this case, the $54.38 and $64.64. Then there was a credit of $23, I believe. These 2 were just some minor materials that were used for the garage in general that the selectmen are holding. So if the selectmen are okay with that, we can process. They're up in accounting right now. Those, I think you're familiar with them. The other 2 have never been submitted to the Board of Selectmen. They have not been approved by the Board.
This is the 2361 and the 40517?
Correct. So that's what Mr. Toomey is saying the water board will be discussing. They've already approved the other 2
Okay.
that are being held by the selectmen and the accounting office. If that's okay with you, I think there were just some minor materials for the garage in general can be absorbed in their expense line.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, at this point, I would suggest we just clear the decks. And
Clear the deck.
Sign off these off. It's a local
Okay.
vendor who supplies a lot of material for the town. We just,
Definitely need to get paid.
he needs to get paid. He supplied the materials.
Yeah.
Let's just get this cleared up. And,
Okay.
before the
Any
end
other
of the
discussion
year.
from the board?
I would agree with Selectman
Okay.
Peterson.
Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And to pay the second part of that invoice?
Well, we can wait.
2 that we don't have?
We don't have it yet from the water board, so I
When
think
do we
it-
meet, right?
We're just,
Wednesday night.
Can
we're
we
just
vote
paying
to
the
accept-
the old
$96.83.
ones from December.
We'll have time at the next, we meet in 2 weeks, so assuming they'll have the bills done, we can
Hopefully.
discuss those in the next meeting just to see what they are, and then
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. Minutes for March 25th, 2013. Everybody read the minutes for 25th, the 25th of March. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain because I wasn't here.
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
here. That meeting.
Okay, minutes of Board of Selectmen for March 25th, executive session. Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Well, you can't, Jack.
No, I was here for that.
Second.
I have the
Yeah,
absent.
you were absent on both of the executive and the regular meeting.
Oh, okay, I'm jumping
Okay.
there. I jumped.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Sorry.
Okay,
I was
so
looking at the other.
I have a motion. I have a second. I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have another one. I'm confused just for a second.
There were 2 meetings in one day.
Oh, that's right, okay.
That's
Yeah, I'm
all.
looking at it. I'm
We
saying
had a
that
number
we had
one and
a
two.
morning one and a night one, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay,
It
that
was
threw
during
me
the
off
budget
here.
season.
Okay,
Okay, that was a morning one.
okay. This is the other one, minutes for Board of Selectmen meeting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody read that?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. We accept the minutes, March 25th.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
That is it safe to assume that May 20th isn't ready yet?
Okay, May,
No, we had that one.
okay, this is the minutes of the Board of Selectmen executive session from March 25th.
Right.
The 20th
Okay.
we had in our packet somewhere.
Do I have a motion, have you read these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had one.
Do you have a motion to accept these?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion for the March 25th minutes for the Board of Selectmen executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah, you-
Okay. May 20th, 2013. Everybody read those?
yes, I think those one read it, okay.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Confusing when you have 4 meetings in one day. Okay. Moving on, Raleigh Food Pantry. I spoke to the ladies who run the food pantry today, who work there, and they told me keep up the donations if you can. It's very helpful to the community. Those people who have less, in the community, they really need the help. Just check the expiration dates on the cans, because they can't accept any cans or any packages with expiration dates beyond that date. So, and you can drop them off at the back of the Baptist Church at the rectory, or at the library. So the food pantry is open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. And then the town has following vacant seats: zoning board of appeals, associate 3 members, 2 fence viewers positions, and a wood lumber bark inspector. That's new. I haven't seen that one before. I know you have, but I haven't seen that one before.
It's been vacant
It's been
for a
around
while.
forever.
It has the wood lumber bark inspector?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he died 36 years ago.
Huh?
He died 36 years ago.
Somebody pointed out that we have a vacancy on it, so we added it to the list.
And we only need one more fence viewer. We actually
We have plenty of fence viewer. We only need 1 fence viewer, okay?
we have actually appointed one tonight, so we have one.
No, we
already.
need 3. There's still 2 vacancies. But
There's
he'd
still
like-
2
The current fence viewer would like to have at least 1 more person, so he has
Okay.
somebody to talk
So
to.
we
when he has
do need to.
fences to
We
view.
don't need to, fine. Maybe we can make one a fence viewer and a wood lumber.
If you're confused at home, so are we. So we need 2 fence viewers,
Yes,
okay?
2
All
fence
right,
viewers.
my bad.
And 3 Board of Appeals associate open seats. And don't forget the wood lumber bark inspector. We need that also, okay? Also, the battery recycling box located at the town hall, right out here in the corridor, and at the library. Again, if you have any D batteries, any kind of small little pen lights, AAAs, and you don't know what, don't throw them in the trash. Just put them in a plastic bag, put them aside, bring them down here and drop them off either at the town hall or over here at the library. And I was talking to Frank, and Frank said the business has doubled since we've been doing this. This is good. Don't throw them in landfills. We can take care of them, okay? Okay, Independence Day celebration, Saturday, the 29th of June. And the parade will be at 8:30. And they'll start at the VFW and it will it will end at the town common. And we'll have games starting at 9 o'clock, and we'll have hot dogs, Richie slush, water, and we'll have a good time.
Yep.
Games and everything else, and it's a great Saturday morning. Okay. All right, and with that, I have to read this for the record. Okay, a motion to go into executive session. The chairman calls for a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy with respect to litigation and strategy for respect to collective bargaining, because an open session may have detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town, and not to return to open session. Ask for a motion from the board.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those with a roll call vote.
Jack Cook?
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
I recuse myself.
I Dave Peters.
With that, we will go into executive session, not to return to regular session. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and go Bruins.